Hi guys, I'm Buck Weezer. We're putting the do into do-it-yourself, and I'm here with a Craftsman lawn tractor. It's the DYS 4500. It's from 2008, according to the code on the Briggs & Stratton engine. And among other things, it needs a new battery. And installing a new battery is not rocket science by any stretch of the imagination. But there are some things about it that are peculiar, unique, and worth knowing. So I thought I would address the question, when installing a new battery, should I connect the positive or the negative leads first? Have you ever thought about that? Do you know the answer? And do you know why? So today I want to talk about how to install a battery, and particularly that question, which do we connect first? And I'm going to answer it two ways. Here's the first way. When it comes to the functionality of the lawn tractor, it doesn't matter which you connect first, positive or negative. The tractor doesn't care. If you could ask your tractor, hey tractor, I got a new battery, which do you want me to connect first, the positive or the negative? It would say to you, great, I love a new battery. As long as you connect both of them, I don't care the order in which you do it. Makes no difference to me. You see, your tractor doesn't care. It knows that it needs positive, it needs negative, and they have to be hooked up correctly. But it doesn't make any difference to the functionality of the tractor. You see, all you need to do is complete the circuit. And so your lights need positive and negative, and your starter motor needs positive and negative. Your electric PTO, if your tractor has that, has a positive. It needs positive and negative. But the order in which you connect them to the tractor doesn't really matter in terms of functionality. That's the first part of my answer. The second part of my answer is this. Because your tractor is a negative ground system, for reasons of safety, it's recommended to install the positive, connect the positive cable first. Now I say recommended, I don't say required because I don't want to overstate the case. It's not required. You can safely connect the negative first if you wish. But for reasons of safety, it's probably better, recommended, suggested, to connect the positive cable first. And I'm going to explain to you why. And to do that, we'll need to think about the tractor's electrical system. So let me show you a few things. All right, so I've put the battery in its battery box. And the battery's clearly marked negative on this side, which is going to be our black cable. Sometimes this cable is actually bare without insulation. That's okay for the negative. And the positive is on this side with the red cable. And don't want to overstate the importance of not reversing that. Don't mix that up. You need red to positive and black to negative. You want to make sure you get that right. But let me talk to you about what happens when I connect the red terminal, the red wire, to the positive terminal of the battery. What components of the tractor at that time now share continuity with the positive side of the battery? Well, let's think about that. Well, we connect this wire and it goes down to our starter solenoid. Hopefully you can see that. It's just a short cable with pretty thick wire. And it goes down to this side of our starter solenoid. And there it stops. It doesn't go any further until such a time as we attempt to start the tractor. And I also want you to notice that it's completely insulated. The red boot here, the red boot here, the red insulation on the wire. So it's completely insulated. Also, you can see this red wire coming off of the same terminal on the solenoid. And this is connecting our positive battery, our battery positive, to, probably goes through a fuse somewhere and then to our key switch. That's really all it goes. Until such a time as we turn the switch, there's nothing else that's sharing continuity with our positive battery terminal. Now it may be that this also goes to the light switch, if you have headlights, or maybe to an ammeter or hour meter on the dash. But that's it. That's as far as it goes. And all of those connections are completely insulated. Those are the only things that are sharing continuity with the positive side of our battery. Now I'm making a big deal out of that because now as we talk about the negative terminal of our battery, it's a completely different story. What happens when we connect the negative cable to our negative terminal on our battery? What are the components then that share continuity with the negative battery terminal? Well, it's very interesting that if you follow this black cable down to where it connects, you'll find, and I don't know if I can see it here exactly, you'll find, and there it is, I don't know if you can get a glimpse of that straight down there. You might not be able to. It bolts directly to the frame of the tractor, to the metal frame. The battery is grounded by having the negative battery connected directly to the tractor frame. So any connected metallic surface, including the tractor frame, the engine block that's bolted to the frame, anything connected, metal connected to the tractor frame now, shares continuity with the negative battery terminal. And you'll also notice these are uninsulated connections, except for maybe a thin coat of paint on the tractor frame and metal parts. There's no insulation on those connections. I said I've got one tractor that has, sometimes these cables aren't even insulated here with the black plastic, sometimes because it's not necessary. We are grounding the tractor frame and all the connected metal components to the negative terminal of the battery. Now that you understand that, I think we can explain why I said earlier it's suggested and recommended that we first connect the positive terminal when we're connecting our battery. So let's think about that just a little bit more. Let's suppose I decide I'm putting in my new battery and I'm going to connect the negative terminal first. So I go ahead and do that. Now what? Now every metallic part of my tractor is grounded by virtue of being connected. It's a negative ground system. Every metallic connected part of my tractor, frame, engine, is now part of the electrical system, and it's sharing continuity with the negative terminal of the battery. So if I connect that first, then suddenly my whole tractor, all the connected metal parts, are part of the electrical system. All right, so let's continue this talking a little bit more. Now what happens then? I've already got this connected, and now I go to connect the positive. Well, I'll talk to you and show you what could happen. Okay, remember, hypothetically, we've got our negative already connected because we decided for whatever reason to do that one first. Now I'm going to connect using my tools to tighten down the bolt that connects the positive side to the battery, and I've got this long wrench. It's a 7/16 and another one for the other side. And so now the possibility of, while I'm connected with my metal tools to the positive terminal of the battery, if I'm not careful, my tools may hit one of the metallic parts of the frame or tractor engine or something. Now it's not a big risk here because so much of this is now plastic. But here's a bolt that I wouldn't want to come into contact with. Over here it's metal. So there's always the chance that I might inadvertently, while tightening down these bolts, touch something on my tractor that's metallic and of course grounded and part of the negative continuity to the negative terminal. So the danger of that is a big show of sparks that will scare the heck out of you. You'll jump back in amazement. You'll bang your elbow on the tractor hood. It's not that the electrical voltage is a problem, but the show of sparks will really startle you. And yeah, you just don't want that to happen. As it is now, the only real risk, if I don't have the negative connect, the only real risk is that I might inadvertently touch the terminals at the same time with my tools. But if I leave this cover on, that's not going to happen because I'm going to connect the positive terminal first. After that's done, again, this is all insulated. I'm going to put the cap over it to protect it, and then I'm going to connect the negative side, and there's no danger of shock or short-circuiting anything that way. No show of sparks. And those are the reasons why it's recommended that we connect the positive first. Absolutely essential? No. But it's a good practice. So now that we've talked it through, let's go ahead and connect our battery. All right, well, as I've been preaching, we're going to start with the positive. That's recommended to start there. And I always want to use a file or sandpaper to make sure I get nice, clean connections here on these wire terminations. See, they're copper, but they got a whole, they're coated with corrosion. That's going to inhibit good connection with our battery terminal. So I'm going to just take the time to really clean it off and make sure I got a nice clean surface. And I'll take a few minutes to do that with both the positive wire and the negative wire, and then I'll be ready to connect them. Now that we've cleaned up the cables nicely, let's go ahead and connect the cables to the battery. Screwdriver termination on this side, 7/16 wrench on this side, and so you can see how when you're doing this, though it's a simple job, you've got tools stretched out in all directions, and we preclude the possibility of that shower of sparks inadvertently touching something metal with our tools. We eliminate that possibility by connecting the positive first. All right, we tighten that guy down. I also should mention you want to make sure the key switch is in the off position. You hadn't considered that already. All right, don't like it completely. There we go. So again, a good clean connection, completely insulated. And now with that done, we can do the negative. And on this side, it makes no difference if my tools inadvertently touch something metal, because the metal of the tractor is already grounded to begin with. It's already connected to the battery negative. So there'd be no drama there. All right, and we're on. And again, this one doesn't have a cap because it doesn't need to be insulated. It's part of the negative ground system of our tractor. Now our battery's connected, and we're ready to move on to other parts of our repair today. Well, as you can see, I tend to be a little bit long-winded, but I wanted to do a little bit more than just say, connect the positive side first. I wanted to explain a little bit about the reasoning behind that, so hopefully that was helpful to you. Is it absolutely essential that the positive be connected first? No, you could safely connect the negative if you are careful about it, but it makes good sense to connect the positive first for the reasons that we've already discussed. Essential? No. Recommended? Yes. So hopefully that's been of help to you. I'd love to hear what you think about it. I thank you for watching the video. I got some more work to do on this tractor, so we'll end it here, and I'll look forward to seeing you on our next video. Bye-bye.